So within the external tool, we can use Dax Studio, which will help us to understand better about this model because within Power BI desktop, we just have all these tables available. And then within the field pane, we'll be able to see all the tables and then we'll be able to utilize it. But for understanding this one better, so we will be now leveraging Dax Studio. So here, when I click on Dax Studio, then you could see to the left, I'm able to see all the tables, what we have here. But if I go within the advanced editor, and then when I click on view metric, so this will load me and show me all the tables here. This will show me list of all the tables and then the total table size and then the total column size. And then if I move to the summary, so what this is saying me is the size of my Power BI is 4.7 MB, which has 41 tables currently. So when you do a full load of Northwind dataset, you will be getting 41 tables altogether, and then you will be getting 326 columns. So this is, I can directly email you, or if I open Power BI desktop, so within Power BI desktop, we have to go within the get data. So that is where we'll be able to get the connectors. And then we have to click on Northwind. So let me show you that. In the meantime, let's see if we have, uh, so transform data, data source setting, and then we have change source. So this is the URL for this OData feed. So I'm closing this. So this is a new PBIX file for me. I don't have anything here. So if I open the field pane here, you could see I don't have anything. So I can click on get data, and then I'll be seeing different connectors from where we can pull the data into this Power BI report. But this time we are focusing on OData feed. Within this, I just paste the URL link. So Power BI will be trying to fetch the data from this URL. I just click on OK, and now Power BI is trying to connect to that OData feed, and then this will show me a list of all the tables that I have available here. So all the objects, what you see here, so these are a list of all the tables. So I can click on any of the tables here, and this one, the area what we have to the right, this will preview us and then show us all the columns. And either if we are interested in any specific table, then we can select that, or we could select all the tables here. We have to just add this check mark, and then now we are basically selecting all these tables. So once we have all these tables selected, we are not, we did not load the data here yet. So we selected everything, and then we have three options here at the bottom. One is to load the data. So we are starting with the Northwind data because this is already modeled, and then we are not focusing on any of the data transformation. So the initial focus is on Power BI desktop and then adding DAX calculation. So we can go ahead and load the data. But let's say if you have observed that you have to make certain data transformation before loading or doing any further work, that is when query editor will come in picture. But our initial assumption is that we have a clean data, and then we have to just work on the front end presentation. So that is the reason for now, for our initial classes, we will be completely loading this data set without any transformation. So I can click on load, and here you could see this is the load page, which will give us the information. So every query, what we see here are the table name, and then below the table name, it will show us the status. So currently the status, what it is showing us is creating connection to model for some of the queries. And then after that, it's saying the loading message, and then now it's detecting the message. So you could see to the right, now we have list of all the tables, and then we have this data view, which will help us to explore all these tables here. And then we have this model view. Within the model view, Power BI automatically have detected the relationships. I don't think everyone is familiar with the relationships yet, but we will be discussing step by step. But for now, we are assuming that whatever relationships Power BI is assuming, those are correct, and then we can directly work on presenting the data. The
Um,
use,
brother, I'm sorry. Where did you get this from? Where did you click on to get this data
uh,
table?
this is from Northwind dataset, so let
No,
me,
the page you're in right now. The page you're in right now. Where?
so we have this is the model view.
Yeah, yeah. How did you get this?
So we have this report view, right?
Uh huh.
First one,
Uh huh.
second one is the data view, third one is the model view.
Okay. 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 Mine it's the screen is so big. I mean small. I couldn't see the whole thing. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, yep,
Sorry.
no problem. All right, so we also have discussed about the layout here as well. And then we also have discussed, so you see order queries, the name is incorrect. So we said like if you select this table here, within the model view, we have the options of making any updates here. So you could see within the properties, we have the option to give a specific name. So let's say here, if you want to update this, then I could say these are all the order queries. Okay, so when I click here, then you could see this one will be updated right away. And then if you want, if you have to add any description, we can do it here. But we will have a bunch of features available here to do any modification. So the current selection is at the table level. So anything, any option what we see here will be at the table level. But let's say if I select any specific column within this table, then all the options what I get here, so you could see when I selected address, within the general name, it was showing as address. So I can make any changes. And then here at the bottom, you could see the formatting changes where I can change the data type, and then I can also change the format here. Okay, so I could do the same thing. So let's say if I'm looking for customers table, then when I select this customer table, it will highlight the customer table for me. So this will list me all the columns what we have available. But if we are focusing on only one specific area of development, so let's say if you're only focusing on orders table but not any of the other table, then what you could basically do is you can create a clean view of it by adding a layout. So at the bottom, you see we have the option of adding multiple layout. So we are saying orders requirements. So when we want to work on orders requirement, we would require orders table. So I can click on the orders table, drag and drop in this open area. So this will bring in orders table for me. And then when I click on this three dots here, which is the more options, so this will give me the different options I have. Here I can refresh the data. I can go to the query editor and then make any changes. I can update my relationships. So if I click on manage relationships, this will show me all the relationships currently I have in the model. So this is like a big list. Either I can click say new, or if you have made any changes, then you can say auto detect. So auto detect, so let's say you added a new table and then you want Power BI to directly pick the relationships. You can click on auto detect, or you can say if any of the changes you want to make. So let's say if I select the second relationship what we have, the way we have to read the relationship is, you see, we have this active column first, saying the tick mark here is saying this relationship is active. So we have from table, and then we have to table here. So we have alphabets list of products, and then we have the products. So let me take a snip of this, and let me select everything from here, and then let me open a new layout. Let me close this. I'm opening a new layout, and then from this we are trying to target the second relationship, which is saying alphabets list of product. So let me see where I can find the table. So first table what we have is alphabetical list of products. So this is the first one. And then the second table which is involved in this relationship is the products table. So within this two table, the column which is used for the relationship is the product ID. So let me search for the products table. When I drag and drop, you could see I have a relationship here between this two table, which is based on the product ID. So we have one-to-one relationship between this, which is saying for one product ID, what we have in alphabetical list of product, there is one product ID in the products table. Okay, but there could be a relationship. So let me try adding orders tables. Orders table directly have it. So remove from diagram. So, so let me look for, so we have products. Okay, invoices. So let me add another table here, which is invoices. So you could see there is a difference between the way we have relationship between products and alphabetical list of products table versus product versus product relationship with the invoice table here. So one side of the relationship means that there is no duplicate product ID in this table. So if we come back here in the data view, so right now we are in the data view, and then we are opening the products table. So we have 77 rows. So at the bottom left, we will be able to see how many rows we have in this particular table. So right now this is saying 77 rows. Then what it means is you have 77 distinct values in this particular table. And then if we see in the data, then you could see we have this product ID, and then this is incrementing basically. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so on till 77. So we have 77 different products here. Nothing is repeating. So this is what this relationship is saying. This is saying that product ID has unique list, but for this particular product, there could be multiple invoices. That means multiple people are purchasing that product. So we can try to analyze that as well. So if we see the second table which is involved in this relationship, and then if we go into the data view, and then if we open invoices, so let me click on invoices, and now we have to look for column. product ID. So if I'm scrolling to the right, then you see we have a column product ID. So product ID from invoices table, this is used, and then from products table, product ID, this column is used for the relationship. That's what we are able to see it here. So if you go back to the data view and then go within the invoices and then scroll right, and then let's say if you're picking one random product ID, let's say if you're picking one, then you could see for product number one, there is a huge data here. And then as I mentioned, you will be able to see all the data, like metadata, I would say in the bottom left. What this is saying is invoices table has a total of 2,155 rows. Out of that, because of the filter what we applied, it has filtered 38 rows. So that means for product ID 1, we have 38, uh, 38 rows of data here. Okay. And then if I scroll to the left, and then let me do the same thing in the product table before we discuss further. So if I come within the product table, let's try filtering for product number one and then see if we get multiple rows or if we get only one single row. So within this products table, you could see it returns only one row here. Okay. So if I go back again to the invoices table, then within the invoices table, for this particular product ID that we filtered, we are having a good amount of information. So we are having information related to shipment. So let me select again here. So you could see here for this data, I'm able to get anything related to shipping address, shipping name, postal code. So if I get a requirement saying, give me count of products by shipping country or ship city, then what I have to basically do is I have to go in the report view, and now I know that I have a ship city sitting in the invoices table. I just have to go in the data view, select the table visual, because as I mentioned, we will be starting basic when we have to add a visual. So the basic visual what we have is the table visual. And then now we have to expand the invoices table. So within the invoices table, we have ship city. You see here, either I can click here in this box. So that way it will load the ship city here. Within the values, I can click here and then show. So you could see the ship city here. And then now what we want to do is we want to get the count of the products. So how many products? Remember, we have a total of, if I go to the products table, we have a total of 77 products. So we have to see within this ship city how many products were being sent. So if I come here, now we have to do drag and drop product ID. So this is combining information for me, which is saying here's the list of all the ship city. And then for this ship city, this is saying these are all the different products that were shipped in this ship city. But for our requirement, we want to get a count and then see which particular ship city has sent highest number of products. Then what we have to do is within the values, so you see within the visualization pane, within values, so we have ship city, and then we have the product ID. So for the product ID, we have one option where we can remove the field. I can click on this and then remove the field, and then I can again add that back. So we, along with the ship city, we want to do a distinct count here. Then I click here for more option. Then you could see remove field, rename the field, move, and then have conditional formatting. Apart from that, I have mathematical operations that I can perform. So for this instance, I want to do a distinct count. I can click on distinct count, and then you could see this is saying me the information. What it is showing me is these are list of all the ship cities, and then this is the count, distinct count of product ID. For Barcelona, you could see they have shipped 8 different products. If I sort on the count of product ID, so the city which has highest number of product IDs is grass. So this is how I'll be able to derive the information. And then now, if I want to get more information based on the shipment based columns, I just duplicate the visuals. Either I do copy and paste, or you see within the home tab, I have all these different options. So I have ship city and then distinct count of product. But if I see in my data, so I just have covered ship city, but apart from ship city, I have multiple options available for me. So I can show also the analysis by ship country. So let's try to do that. So we have duplicated this visual what we created, but here we are seeing ship city. Let's try to remove ship city from here. So this is now showing me distinct count of product ID. And if I see within the invoices, I'm now seeing this ship country field here. I can drag and drop and then add within the values. And this will show me a breakdown. So this is giving me list of all the countries, and then it's giving me all the distinct count of the product. So I did not have to do any distinct count or make any changes to the second field. I used the same table visual, copied this one, and then created it. And then from here, I can click on USA, and then this is giving me list of all the cities. Okay, so let's say they are also interested in seeing state as well, along with the city and country. And then I have to just copy this visual, paste it. So let's rearrange this. So first we have ship country, and then second should be state. What I could do is first I remove this ship country, and then let's see if we have the state. So if we come back here, so we have region, ship address. So we don't have state, but we have region. So we can try to add that. So we have ship region, drag and drop, place it. So you could see if I click on USA, I have all this different regions that are nothing but the states, and then the cities. I can also do cross filtering. So to select one specific state, and then this will show me city. So here you see the data set is naming as region, but let's say now we want to rename it to state. And what we could do is just select this table visual. Only this center table visual is selected. I can click on this and then say rename for this visual, and then this will rename it for me. And I could say ship state. Okay, so this change, what we did, you could observe here, still in my table, this is called as ship region, but we made only change within this table visual. Okay, so any questions still here, guys?
So the changes you just made, the ship state for and the fields where it says reason, it doesn't change in the field.
So we have options to rename in 2 different places. So for only displaying it on a visual, we have the capability to do it here. So you could see I can remove ship and then I can just show it as state. But the field you could see which we are using is ship region. So if I hover over on this field, then this will show me from which particular table we are getting this column and what's that correct column name.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
can select this column and then at the top we'll be getting column tools and then we'll have this option of renaming it here. So when you rename it here at the top,
Mhm.
then you will be uh, updating it throughout the model. So now if I add this field here,
Mhm.
so you could see, let me change this to a table visual. So you could see this is showing me ship state now without renaming it in the table visual.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Is
Got
there
it?
any way you can share this video, brother? Just this one. I just want to
Yeah, yeah.
practice.
So the other videos are still due to be uploaded. I was getting some error, but I'll try to upload all those videos, including this as well, and then share you guys the link.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for the delay. Okay, so now again we are coming back to the modeling view. So one thing what we can see here is, so if I go to this image, so the image what we have is the data view, how the invoices table is looking. So invoices table is nothing but this table, and then we have products table. So we have product related information in the invoices table, and then we have product specific product table which has product related columns as well. And then because of this relationship we'll be able to combine the fields what we have in the product table and then in the invoices table. So the requirement what we'll be able to do is, so first report page what we have built is shipment analysis. Okay, now the other report page, what we could build is product sales analysis. So here, what we are seeing is we are starting with our the dimension table, which is products. So we have product ID, which is like a unique identifier for the product. And then we want to see product name. And here we are now interested from the invoices table, how many of these products got sold. So if I come to the invoices table, then when we filtered, so let's come to invoices table here. So when we filtered for product ID 1, then the metadata what was returned was this has total of 2,155 rows. Out of that, 38 rows, 38 transaction here belongs to product ID 1. Okay, so now we have to also understand here, apart from product number 1, how about the other products? How many quantity of the other products got sold? Then what we have to basically do is we have to get the product ID from the invoices table and then add it here to this table visual. Then we will have this product ID, product name, and then we have this product ID. But the good thing is the product ID, what we have in the invoices table is repeating multiple time. And then the way we can get the number of sales of this product is to count all this product ID. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now we are giving instructions to Dax to do it. So what we have to do is again come to this drop down and then give a mathematical operation to Dax so that it could do it for us. This time we are saying to Dax, don't do distinct count, but do a count for me. And then you could see we have count of all the products here. So the highest product that was sold was product ID 59, which count of sales is 54. Okay. And then if we again go back to the invoices table, so in here we have additional information related to sales that we will try to cover in the DAX calculation. But for this, we just did a count of product ID. But in our next class, we will see how we can multiply the unit price and then the quantity, and then also combine discount to see the actual cost for that particular product. Okay. But if I scroll to the left, along with the shipping information, we have customers information. So you could see customer ID, name, address, and all, and then the salesperson who sold this, and then to the right when it was ordered, so date related information, and then the quantity related price. So first, we just have to understand the structure of the table, what all information we are able to get, and then we'll be able to present it easily. Now, let's say if you want to show the breakdown by salesperson who were able to make more number of sales, then I just duplicate this table visual, same thing. I remove product ID, product name because I'm not concerned with the product ID, product name, but this time I want to use the salesperson. I drag and drop, and then I drop it here. So you could see the first person, Margaret Peacock, is the one who is dominating the sales here. So you can click here and then see which of the products he's doing more sales here. Or I can go it by product name. For the first product, I want to see who all salespersons are involved in this, and then how many quantities. So you could see the 54 number, what we get here. This number is the breakdown of that 54 number, and then the grand total here will be 54. Got it? And then for this, now let's say if you want to see this salesperson, now you know how many products they were able to sell, the quantity of products they were able to sell. But let's say if you want to see how many customers did they handle, then we have this customer IDs, and then the instruction what we want to give it to Dax is give me distinct list or distinct count of the customers they handled. Then I go on the drop down. I have this mathematical operation, which is a distinct count. I click on this, and then you could see the first salesperson, he was handling 75 distinct customer. On the whole, we have 89 customers. Okay. Any question, guys, before we end the class here?